another episode of Hard Factor, presented by the Barstool News Network. It is Florida Man Friday, July 17th, 2020. We got Will, we got the Beeve, we got Mark. And before we get going on stories today, I need to make some amends. I need to apologize for yesterday's show. I said that the date was the 15th, and it was actually the 16th. So I'm sorry for anybody who I incepted into putting the wrong date down. Also, sorry for getting so triggered about the bean war. I don't like the bean war, but I'm just going to stuff that deep down inside. I should not be getting so upset about I don't know how I got so angry about the beans. So, that's on me. But
while we're at it, I'll apologize to teachers. I guess I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, my language is a little harsh, telling them to shut the fuck up about complaining about coronavirus. Yeah, well, I take that back. I obviously want every teacher to be healthy if they have to go back to school. But, it's just a fact of life. Hopefully everyone's healthy. I probably was a little harsh with the language. Sorry, teachers. Hope you get paid more.
Let's all be healthy.
Yeah,
Let's all work.
I'm going to, but Beeve is going to apologize for what I did to my facial hair because it's going to drive the ladies nuts.
Look at that. Holy moly.
You need to youtube.com/hardfactornews or the Barstool blog, full videos. But yeah, it is a nice chin strap goatee. It is,
it's razor sharp.
Harkens back to like the early 2000s. That's what I think of when I see that.
If the Beeve starts cleaning pools with that outfit or with that do and that facial hair,
here's what I'll tell you.
Husbands are going to need to be working from home.
This is what I know to be true. If you see the Beeve in a dice game, you keep on walking unless you want to lose all your money.
Yeah. You're putting off a vibe, a strong vibe now with the whole Beeve thing going on. So
things are moving quickly with the Beeve.
I've never worn a condom.
Yeah. We're going to catch up on all the serious news on Monday because today is Florida Man Friday, and we got several solid Florida Man stories and voicemails and reviews. Pat, get us going.
All right, guys. I will get us going. But
was it Pat or is it me?
I was supposed to go second.
Mark?
But
it's me. It's me. No, I got it.
Let's keep it. No. Let's keep it. I'm sorry. I had my order. A
lot of apologies at the top of this show.
Yeah, what's the date today, Will?
It's the Friday, July 17th.
There you go.
2020's been rough, guys. So I'm just barely holding on here, just trying to get it. You're lucky I got the right date today. Now
it's our
got the order halfway right.
Yeah. 9th show of the week. We edit our own shows. We're a little tired, but we're going to fucking crush this Florida Man show. So look, a lot of people hate going to church, right? What I mean there is most people are like, oh, church.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. Not again, or they just don't even go because they dislike it because it's a chore. That's what I mean by hate. They're just not interested. But 24-year-old Stephen Anthony Shields hates church. He so much so that he crashed his minivan into Queen of Peace Catholic Church in Ocala, Florida, via driving straight through the front fucking doors. He just took out the church.
I know we're going to get added, so I got to say it's Ocala, just because I don't want to get added.
Yeah, don't at me on that. And then he got out of his car and poured gasoline all over the foyer area, and then he set the church on fire. So he drove through the church.
Really hates church, yeah.
In his minivan, got out, poured gasoline everywhere, and burnt the place down. Guys, this was all while Mass was about to begin. So lots of people inside the church.
We got to ask, because this is going to be a theme on today's show, which is premeditation.
That's premeditated, dude. You don't roll into a church and then burn it down without premeditating it at least a little bit. You can't. That's not a crime of passion.
It's not a crime of opportunity?
You'll find out, unless he rolls around with a bunch of cans of gasoline in his car just in case. And there's some other stuff too. But, could you imagine being in the church getting ready to start your 7:30 a.m. Mass, and then someone drives through the front door and then starts burning down the church while laughing? That's I guess July 11th is the day Satan burns me alive in the church.
It's not the farthest fetched thing. If you're going to see that anywhere, church is the most believable place, I think, right? Because
that's what I'm saying. This is their it's happening moment. It's actually happening. They all got out, luckily though. No one died. They're just going to be terrified for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, it sounded like a pretty not dangerous, honestly. Unless there was somebody directly in front of the door, he wasn't really going to hurt anybody. he just hates churches.
Luckily, there's a few exits, right? Shields, by the way, after he set fire to the church, got back into the minivan, threw it in reverse, and hightailed it out of there, smiling and laughing to the backdrop of other people's screams. He was quickly caught by He was quickly caught by police, though, around the same time the firefighters were putting the church fire out. And according to the arrest reports, Shields told investigators that what he did was awesome, and he was smiling and laughing the whole time while admitting to burning down the church. He also said that he was a king and that he was on a mission and that he had a problem with the Catholic Church. So the last part was probably pretty clear to the investigators, but the king information was
he king of? Did he clarify that?
He's the king of schizophrenia because he was a 24-year-old with schizophrenia.
There you go. Yeah. The king of the pill bottle. Yeah.
Yes, and he was off his meds, unfortunately. So this is a sad one because this 24-year-old has severe schizophrenia, didn't take his meds, tried to burn down a church. Now he's arrested for attempted murder and a bunch of other things. He's also a dead ringer for Marty Mush, if you get a look at him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's it for that one.
You got a picture in there?
How do you pronounce it, Pat? Yeah.
Ocala.
Ocala. All right.
But Mush is on the road, so you never know. All right, guys, back on June 12th, St. Lucie County Police approached a car where it appeared like a woman was passed out at the wheel, and this is after someone called in a report saying, hey, there's a lady passed out at the wheel. When they arrived at the vehicle, they found a 34-year-old St. Lucie County woman slouched over her steering wheel in her Toyota with her foot on the brake and the vehicle in drive. Classic. It's one of the best DUI scenarios. She was sleeping. She just passed out right there while driving.
Well, at least her foot was heavy enough to keep the brake down.
Yeah, car and drive. Yeah, and I'm guessing she wasn't on like an incline, like a down.
Well, she had the foot on the brake, so she was cool. But guys, according to reports, police noticed shredded chore boy all over the vehicle. Do you guys know what chore boy is?
Chore boy?
Yeah. So I had to Google this because apparently Chore Boy is a brand of steel wool pad that is used to make do-it-yourself crack pipes. It's very popular in the crack pipe community. You go down to Walmart, you get yourself some Chore Boy. On the box is a sweet little boy who looks like he's never smoked crack. You take that out and you make a crack pipe out of it.
I get it. Chore Boy, like he's doing a chore for cleaning. But you were fishing there. You were trying to see if any of us smoked crack.
Well, I was trying. Anyway, guys, after waking up the woman,
I feel like I'm not cool enough to know Chore Boy now. Like,
that's how I know I'm getting old. When I had to Google,
run that back. Ask us about Chore Boy again.
Do you guys? So in the car, the police found this thing called Chore Boy. You guys know what Chore Boy is?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, I use it to smoke crack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys are hip. I knew it.
Yeah.
Anyway, after waking up, the woman told police that she was tired and hadn't been getting much sleep. That's probably because of the crack. Anyway, she was booked for DUI and taken to the station. And as part of the normal intake process, she was strip searched. And the officer who was strip searching her felt like she was hiding something. You know, she could see all her crevices, but it felt like, there's something else there. So she ran the lady through an x-ray machine where she noticed a, quote, cylindrical object where it should have not been.
Pipe?
In her ass?
Yeah, it was in her ass. And it turns out, guys, she keistered a crack pipe. The deputy said, quote, it came from her anus. So let me read you the report, and then let's get into how this happened. So,
okay, sorry.
Well, this is the officer's report. Mm-hmm. I located a small glass cylindrical object with Chore Boy pushed inside. It was charred from being burnt. I was advised it came from her anus. I asked her why she'd not told me of the pipe after I told her that she would get leniency if she did, and the woman said she'd forgotten about it. So this lady knows how to fucking party, because you got to keep this in mind, guys. She was passed out when the police arrived.
That's just where she keeps it.
That's just where she keeps it. Yeah, it's just her pocket.
Case.
It's her crack pipe pocket.
So the Chore Boy, you stuff it inside the pipe? How's it?
So
I don't understand.
Okay, so it's like steel wool. So maybe I was imagining maybe you could freebase off the Chore Boy, but then also maybe you stuff Chore Boy in the crack pipe.
It cleans the pipe potentially.
It's more like a filter, maybe, I guess.
Filter? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So that's quite a party trick if everyone's like, we're about to smoke this crack, but we don't have a crack pipe, and then she just has it in her ass. Yeah. That's pretty impressive. Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be pretty gross, dude.
You got to disclose that before you pass the pipe.
But it's better than not smoking crack if you want to.
Maybe that's why she does that, so that no one ever asks her for a hit of her crack.
Oh, there you go.
You know
it's
what I mean?
solid approach. I mean, I think how expensive is it? I feel like you might be able to, like, I don't know.
How expensive
Crack's
is what?
not that expensive, and neither are crack pipes. You can
Just
get the
find
whole
one that
kit.
wasn't inside a butt is what I'm saying. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah, for
Hey,
sure. You can
Pipes,
make
don't they have
you
them
can
in
make 'em pretty
vending
easily, too.
machines? Yeah.
I don't know, Will. It was just that's where she kept it, okay?
Okay. A questionable pocket to use, personally. That's what I think about that. All right. Let's move it over to the threatened guy in Fort Myers, Costco from last week. Daniel Maples, the aggressive Florida man. We covered him. He got fired from his job for threatening a Walmart employee and an older woman, well, allegedly an older woman, over his refusal to wear a mask. And you guys remember the guy in the 1776 champs.
I feel
America shirt.
threatened. That guy?
Stop threatening me.
Threaten me again. That guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he took to the like PR trail to try to clear his name this week. And so here's what Daniel had to say. He said, "After a while, I start to feel like I'm suffocating," referring to wearing a mask. "I get claustrophobic, and that's an issue for me. I prefer not to wear the mask. It's something that causes me a lot of distress." No shit.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody saw
seems
that.
Like it. Did he need to explain all that?
He also wasn't even wearing the mask. So how do we even know that that's true? That was just him maskless around other
Right,
people.
I wouldn't want to see him masked.
Oh my God! Could you imagine how
It's
upset
like
he
a
gets?
caged animal.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, you thought he was bad without the mask. Wait till you put it on. He'll be really agitated. He followed up by saying, "I remember somebody saying something to me about, 'I have cancer, I have cancer.' Well, I replied, 'Well, my father died of cancer.' I didn't understand why she was yelling that at me. I never yelled at an old lady." So I guess he was yelling at everybody but the old lady that all of the witnesses reported he was yelling at.
Someone with cancer was like, "I have health conditions, to put on a mask." That's a little rude to be yelling at someone even if they're not wearing a mask. That's a little weird.
It's over the top.
Yeah.
and he claims that none of this is in his recollection of the event. Of course, he was seeing red, you could tell, and had no clue what was going on. So
He had all this time. This is such a bad defense. This is like the Prince Andrew being like, I physically couldn't sweat after war, so it couldn't have been me. He had all this time. He did this interview, and he's like, "Masks make me feel claustrophobic."
That was the
his
best
thing.
he had.
That was the
Yep.
best he had. He should have
Right.
said, "I have rabies," or something like that. Like, "Sorry, I have rabies."
And he had
Anything.
plenty of time to get
Yeah.
infected with the rabies
Yeah, exactly. Just get
Good
rabies.
point. Yeah.
and have the antidote. What
Yeah.
an idiot.
Or go on steroids. Be like, this is
Right.
a steroid side effect.
See,
Look,
I don't know if that's
I'm a victim. Yeah.
Because
I like the rabies because it's not his fault that the thing bit him.
Well, he's still playing the victim regardless. He's just playing the
Yeah.
victim of his own emotions here.
But yeah, but we discussed it on the last show about this guy that he definitely is on steroids. They're just bad steroids. Because
Yeah. Well, no, he says he's not a fighter, so I don't know. He's
lots of
claiming to
guys
be
that
a
are on
lover.
steroids aren't fighters. He's just not getting the muscle benefit of
says
steroids.
He's just not used to this, all this aggressive mask people coming up to him and freaking him out. Maples said he felt the mob was closing in on him and that this was his poor reaction and that not to judge him as a person on 15 seconds where he was being a total dick to everybody inside the Fort Myers Walmart. Your request has been logged, Mr. Maples. Everybody do with that what you will. He requests you to not to strike that from the record. To that, taking it to the internet at How About You Don't on Twitter says, LMAO, still the victim. That shit must get so old. No shit. This guy is always saying it's somebody else's fault for what he
Right.
did.
Don't judge me on those 15 seconds. It's like, well, look, I don't want to hang out with you, bud. So what else am I going to judge you on?
This is
Well,
like
and again, he's a victim of the mask. He's a victim. He
Right.
felt claustrophobic. The mob came in on him.
No, it
He
was a
is.
shitty excuse. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
it's kind of like Croc's kid. Remember Croc's kid when we were like, this guy is a total dick, and then Jack, our editor, was like, yeah, no, I went to college with that guy. He fucking sucks. You need like a reference. Like it's almost like you have a reference for jobs. You're like, hey, call this person so I'm not a psycho. There should be a reference of people you grew up with for these guys
I
that
have
we
a
can check in
feeling.
with.
Yeah. I have a
yeah.
feeling there's dozens of people that can confirm.
Yeah, and also related, not exactly related, but somewhat related. I put up a poll on Twitter this week, and I said who would win in a fight, MS-13 or COVID-19? And of the 125 Hard Hive respondents, 65.6% said COVID-19. So wear a mask, more dangerous than MS-13.
Really, if they fight, everyone's the winner, if you ask me.
Well, it's true. I mean, I didn't give that as the third outcome, but I didn't say like a draw where everybody was gone.
Yeah, undecided was the answer there that I would have gone with. I'll have to see it play out. I don't know,
but 65.5% of the Hive more concerned with COVID-19. So please wash your hands, wear a mask.
Yeah. All right, guys, I've got another story about a Florida man who called the cops on himself, basically, and then got arrested. This is like a suicide prevention hotline, but for like criminals pre-committing acts instead of like harming themselves. They're like, I'm about to commit a crime, and that seems to be a theme with a lot of these Florida man stories.
I'm so horny right now, and I am. You gotta come get me. You really gotta come get me.
So this is definitely a good thing, though. It's just always very funny. I'm glad that they're calling the cops on themselves, especially if they're serious about the crimes, and especially about this one. Because Anthony Ninham Schuler, who's a 57-year-old from Yulee, Florida, called the cops last Thursday night to tell the 911 dispatcher that he was gonna waste about 20 kids that were at a house party in his neighborhood. Gonna waste them.
I'm gonna roll over there and waste them all.
That's what he said.
It's like a 90s LA gang member term for murder for you Gen Zers.
And he called the cops to say this.
He did. He told the dispatcher. And he went on and elaborated just in case the dispatcher was younger. He said, I'm about to waste about 20 of them right now. I'm going to kill a bunch of kids. He went on to say that it would be easy to do since he had so many guns and that he was about to blow the whole house up.
Now he's just bragging. That's just, at least be humble. You know, you're just saying,
be hard.
I'm going to commit this crime and I'm going to do it with, it's no sweat off my back to commit this crime.
Pat, I'll tell you from years of hunting, if you're the guy that says you're going to waste something when you're talking about killing them, you've got a lot of guns. Like you're going to brag about them. It's like when you go hunting with a guy that's got like really cool terminology for killing animals.
Right.
That's when you know he's got a shitload of gear and he's going to be like, he's going to have a lot of good shit that he's going to have.
But Will, do you know, like if you're on a hunting trip with like, cause when you go to hunting trips in South Dakota and stuff, you'd stay at like a communal lodge. Like it's like a golf trip, like people join your party, right?
Different like places like that in Texas are more like sort of like golf lodge feel.
Did you ever meet a guy you're like, this guy's not killing anything? You could just tell.
Oh yeah, I mean, like lots of dudes probably aren't very good shots, but they go out and they spend the money. But it's more about, I think.
Don't tell them that though.
Well, they probably know. I mean, when you're that rich, like they take you out in a field and they like teach you how to like they hand feed you how to like shoot.
They injure the animal for you. It's like pre-cutting.
Then they send a guide with you anyway. So like if you're horrible, like they'll let you shoot, your balls off for like a couple hours, and if you're in a good spot, the guide will just take out everything for you. Anyway.
It's a guide hiding and like shooting at the same time as the people, but actually hitting the animal. Oh, good shot. Luckily, he didn't go. He didn't like kill all the kids. So this wasn't a crime scene where they're like the Boondock Saints. They're like, what is this? What if it was one person with 6 guns? So he didn't go over there with all the weaponry to kill the kids because he said right before he hung up, he said, "You better send someone over, or I am going to kill." I am going to kill him if you don't send someone over to stop me. So they did send over.
You can hear
some
a timer
officers.
in the background.
Yeah, exactly.
Ding, ding.
So they did send over some cops to the neighborhood. And I guess the man didn't give his address. So the first thing they did is when they got in the neighborhood, they knocked on the door of the house that had a clear, large party of children and adults going on. And a woman answered the door and said, "Oh, wow, that's crazy. That's not good." And then they asked, "Well, who's mad at you in this neighborhood? Who could this be?" And she pointed to a house across the pond. She's like, those neighbors don't like us. Then maybe it sounds like it could be that person. So the cops went over there to that house, but no one was home. And it was around this time that the cops were given some new information as some research was done into the initial call. And the information was that the original call came from inside the house of the party. So the cops went back over to the party house.
The call came from inside the house.
Exactly, Pat. That classic scary story thing. So the woman answered the door again, and plot twist, she's the daughter of the guy who called the cops. And when they went upstairs, they found the man extremely intoxicated, according to the report, in a bedroom upstairs, just like right by the phone, hammered. So
just cleaning his 7 guns that he's bragging about.
It was just Grandpop on his bullshit again, threatening to shoot everyone in the house.
Man, Grandpop has some terrible coping skills in that he's just sitting there getting madder and madder about the party downstairs.
Because he knew the party wasn't going to end anytime soon. And
I hope Grandpop
he wanted to go to bed. Yeah.
I hope Grandpop tried to show off all those firearms to the cops for like an hour. And they just like couldn't get out of there because it was awkward. They didn't want to hurt his feelings. But it's a cool gun, Grandpop. We
Has
really
he never
got to
heard
get
about
back.
a noise complaint? Like you could accomplish the exact same fucking thing by calling the cops and be like, "Hey, there's a loud party. Can you go check on it?" Instead, he went straight to fucking massacre.
Yeah. Didn't have to tell the cops he was going to kill everyone, did he?
Was Grandpop arrested or they just let him go?
He was. He's
Oh,
on, like,
no, he was?
Well, yeah, because
they wasted the time and everybody.
Why is Grandpa getting arrested?
Yeah.
That's one of those situations where it's like, can you stay somewhere else for the night, please? And that story was brought to you by our sponsor, Paint Your Life. And if you're as bad at gift giving as I am, and probably the grandfather from that last story, he's just going to give you ammo, if anything. Or then go to paintyourlife.com where you can get world-class paintings commissioned from any photo that you have on your phone or just like off the internet, whatever. And you can get, like if it's the best gift for a loved one or yourself. If you don't know what to do, go to paintyourlife.com. It's there to save the day. Very affordable pricing. Pat kind of spilled the beans. It's about $300 for a professionally done world-class photo.
So the reason I spilled the beans on that is because having gotten stuff painted by artists just on spec or commissioning them, it's thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
It's not 4 figures. And also, we're offering 20% off and free shipping. And these are incredible paintings. So you got to go to it. It's a super user-friendly website. When you go on there, you're not going to have any issues. You're going to be able to get what you want done, how you want it done within 5 minutes. And then you'll work, if there's any questions, you'll work with the painter that you picked, but you'll have the painting within like 3 weeks, which is a pretty goddamn good turnaround. There's no risk. If you don't love the final painting, you can get your money refunded, guaranteed. Right now there's a limited time offer. Get 20% off your painting. That's right, 20% off and free shipping. Holy shit, that's nice. Whoa. To get this special offer, text the word FACTOR to 64,000. That's FACTOR to 64,000. Text FACTOR to 64000. Paint your life, celebrate the moments that matter most.
All right, guys. This one's from an honorary Florida man. An English pub owner, like most small business owners, has been in a pickle as of late. And pubs are an essential service in London. But obviously, anywhere that people are gathering closely together, especially indoors, can be very dangerous because of the risk of spreading or contracting COVID. That's especially for pub workers, essential workers down there. So Johnny McFadden, who runs the Star Inn in St. Just, Cornwall, came up with a clever compromise. So to keep customers from crowding around the actual bar inside the building, he installed an electric fence in front of it to, quote, protect staff and myself from my customers. You have to put in the meter distancing rule. Around his bar, there is electrified wire that's about a foot off the bar.
Like a cattle wire?
Yeah, like exactly. Like if you're out in the farm and you see like the wire at the bottom of the fence for cattle, it's that.
Well, that'll really shock you if you touch it.
No shit. Are we talking like chest height?
It's bar height. Yeah, so it would shock right above your belly button, depending on how tall you are, below your breasts.
Is this guy a Ren and Stimpy fan?
Well, he just wants to serve the people the beer and not get his staff sick.
I guarantee you someone... go ahead, Will.
He's going to give a patron a heart attack with that thing, though.
Yeah, and I guarantee you people get drunk and have tried to pee on it.
You think? He at first wanted to put a rope or a chain around the bar to stop the crowding, but all he had was electric fence wire. So he instead opted for the fence to, quote, see what that does. The fence is not usually turned on, guys, but the prospect of being shocked has managed to stop customers from crowding near the staff. But I assume if you're going to do this, and you want it to be effective, you're going to at least have to electrocute one person to death early to send a message, like prison yard style. You get to prison, you immediately attack a guy in the yard so they know not to mess with you. It's the same thing with this.
Good point.
Yeah, has he attacked somebody successfully with it?
It wouldn't be in the article, but he has to have. I mean, why would you hook it up to electricity if not to turn it on?
Maybe not to death, but he could have like paid like a daredevil in the town money to like get shocked, you know?
Or the local
That's what I was
troublemaker.
thinking.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking is you take your dumbest patron, your dumbest everyday guy that comes in there who's just hammered by like noon anyways. He doesn't care.
I'd say you do it to the guy that tips the worst.
Well, yeah, no,
but
you're
it
both
could, could be the
you're
same
both
guy.
right. Yeah, you're both exactly. It's the guy that's run up a tab, and you say your tab's forgiven, and you get free drinks the rest of the month if you get like your hair shocked off you.
You gotta love the guys that have enough money to drink and eat out every day, but then rationalize that for them to drink and eat out every day, they don't tip. Those are my favorite guys. I miss those guys from the service industry.
Oh yeah, the regulars. The relationships you have with regulars at any restaurant is always the best.
You were being sarcastic there, weren't you, Pat? That's one.
Yeah,
of
the
those
motherfuckers that show up every day and
Yeah.
don't tip because like, well, if I tipped, I couldn't show up every day. Get out of here.
Nobody shows up every day and doesn't
Yes.
tip. That person doesn't exist.
He does. His name is
What
Brandon.
play? Well,
Yeah, Pat, it's been years. I think you can expose the person at this point. Yeah.
I will eventually.
Yeah.
It'll
Okay.
come
All
out.
right.
all right. Is that we moving on?
We're moving on.
All right, it's time to close out the week, everybody. Voicemails and reviews.
Hell yeah.
We got a ton. Today. For time, I could not play Big Ounce's voicemail. He left one, and let's just say he's very disturbed by the Twitter hack. He thinks it's got to be a big crime syndicate or an actual government to be able to orchestrate such a sophisticated hacking attack, and is worried that whoever did it could possibly do it again and impersonate world leaders. And also that whoever did it could have downloaded everybody's DMs in the world from Twitter. So
Yeah, Big Ounce got high, and it bothered him. He thinks it's China, too. I mean, like, I think he's leaning towards China.
I think that's what he was tweeting
Yeah.
today. Yeah. So anyhow,
Ounce,
Big
why don't you
Ounce-
focus on the bees that you let
Killed?
die? in
Well,
your custody?
they're deceased. Yeah, he's
Start
got to
there.
move on. He's moved on to the hacks. So
Yeah.
all right, this is what he's concerned with.
Yeah.
We all are. We're with the Ounce. All right. Next up, we got some people revisiting some of the subjects we talked about earlier this week. And first up is Spencer in Virginia.
What's up, Hard Fractured Boys? This is Spencer from Virginia, also known as the Boston Matzo. Don't ask the correlation. So last summer, I actually worked on a project where we had to figure out which search engine was the best for finding information between Google, DuckDuckGo, and we came across Yandex. And Yandex is really just a piece of shit compiler and a shitty search engine that just has a bunch of random stuff from Russia. And the only thing it's really useful for is accessing weird random websites in Russia. So yes, you can find very weird stuff through Yandex, but I would not recommend looking at it without using VPN or some other VPN you guys have. Love the podcast. You guys are my daily news every day. Hope you have a good one. And yeah, I was an intern. That's why I had to do that bullshit. All right. Bye.
Pat was
I
the
won't
first half
have.
of that was like
Pat was up in Yandex.
Pat thinks Yandex is the best. He's like he's about to say Yandex is the best. It's not the best, Pat.
It's terrible.
I won't have the Yandex bashing on this show. I swear.
Oh,
okay, look.
Yandex is nothing, man. It's
Look,
propaganda machine.
but
It could definitely be cues like it could definitely be like the Wizard of Oz like curtain in front of the little man. You know what I mean?
Most importantly, no matter like who's behind Yandex,
But the graphical interface is fantastic.
Pat, you gotta not go
I'm
on
going
it
back
unless
on
you're
Yandex.
unless you're on a VPN.
No, it's
Like
a
you
Russian
said.
propaganda machine for sure.
Don't be on that shit. Yeah.
Why do you think he had to look at it as like part of his government job? They were
Yeah.
like,
Stay
look
away
at this
from
thing
Yandex.
Yandex that everybody's
What's
talking
App
about.
Metrica?
Oh, it's terrible.
Okay. Yandex in Belarus. Yeah, I'm going to do the
Okay.
Belarus
Hold on.
Yandex.
Yeah, look, Wayfair is not over, all right? So
Whoa.
that was Spencer. Look, relax with the Yandex. Stop going all your computer's full of like dolphin porn and
you already have
Yandex.
slow internet, man.
It's
No
not the
wonder you
Yandex. Oh my God, what if it's the Yandex?
No, it is
Yeah.
the Yandex.
Stop.
What if it's the Yandex? Maybe the dolphin porn and the Yandex are
The
giving off some
second
red
you
flags.
went on Yandex, your upload speeds slowed down.
Spectrum
It's
has
a
been
very good
throttling
point.
me down to 0.035 in the evening
Because
when I'm
of
supposed to be
the
uploading
Yeah,
videos.
because you're the only guy in the hood that's going to Yandex.
You're the only guy in Texas that's ever gone to
Yeah.
Yandex. All right, let's go to Adam. He's got something else about the same topic.
Dare to be different.
Yo, Adam from Minnesota here. Wayfair is obviously just money laundering. Think of that theory. See ya.
Short and sweet.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's something fishy with Wayfair, as we just described. Their excuse for the pricing didn't make any sense. Then they got rid of a lot of the listings. There's definitely something fishy going on. I just don't think that it's children, but
Money laundering would make sense. I mean, like, because that, like, if they're putting the name of the person that's like supposed to buy it or something or whatever.
It could be that they sell furniture for a living, which is probably boring as shit, and they just are having a little bit of fun at work. Could also be the scenario.
Yeah, that doesn't strike me as likely.
ooh, that's dangerous.
You don't think? I mean, it would get pretty boring just fucking going.
It's
Like,
just-
have you been to one of those warehouses?
it makes no sense to me that their excuse for the several items being 5 figures too much wasn't like user software error or user error, like an admin that manually typed in the prices.
Right, and also it's definitely
they
not
didn't
the
say that.
warehouse
Those-
workers that are
Yeah.
doing it. It's the people in the front office.
Okay.
They said this is how much those items cost, and then they deleted
Right,
all of them
it's-
and then put them back up for like $50 instead of 15,000.
It's not.
So
it's a white collar
some-
person doing this.
something's
not a
going
blue
on.
collar
I'm going to Google
person.
Wayfair on Yandex.
Well, that sounds like a bad idea. All right, moving on to Darren in Maine.
I'm sorry. I'm going to Yandex Wayfair on Yandex.
Hey boys, Darren from Maine again. Pat, although you are my least favorite of the four, I did want to let you know I understood your ATM joke on Wednesday and appreciated it. I exhaled slightly faster through the nostrils than I normally would. That being said, please don't compare me to the Mumford, mumfucker, whatever. Anyways, have a great fucking day, boys. Keep up the great work.
That's not very nice.
I like how he gave me what he's saying. What he's trying to say is I kind of made him laugh. That's what he's
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah,
say.
he said you got him once. You got me
And then it-
once.
And then he said, "Don't come at me." Like
I'm
like,
not. Well, I have a brethren in Astamouth. I love that. I have an ATM brother.
That was not Darren wasn't the only guy. There were several people that said ATM. Mark and I are complete morons for not understanding.
Yeah.
it.
Well, people
So-
thought you were
Definitely hurt.
prudes.
Right. Well,
Well,
we've
what does
definitely
it
heard it
mean? I don't-
before.
I-
Definitely
look,
heard
I-
asked about. I've heard
I'm not
ATM
a prude.
before, but
I just
it's
want to
not,
know what the fuck. Where is it for? Why am I a prude
not
for not
enough
knowing
to
what this thing
recognize
is?
it. Yeah. Whatever.
You never
ATM.
Astamouth. You never ATM unless it's cash. Moving on. What's the next one?
I agree with you.
Where is it from? Cash only.
I want to say ATM. I first heard it in maybe an Orgasmo back in '98. I want to say, but it's a porn term. It's a porn
I
term.
watched that movie with you. So
So Yandex ATM, and if you go on, yep.
yeah, no, stop using the index. All right, moving on. Jackson P.
Hey, it's Jackson P.
Xavier, Sydney.
And we just wanted to say all for this Dr. Lickities and Big Ounce rivalry that we saw on Tuesday. Made me glad that I wasn't debating Dr. Lickities and getting roasted for the mustache that I can't grow. And also, I just wanted to say it's the end of summer and we haven't had a boat race part 3. We should definitely get one going before the end of summer. And, yeah, that's about it. Keep doing what you're doing. You boys are awesome. Can't wait for the rest of the debates. And, have a great fucking day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Agree with everything he said there. I'd love to do another boat race. It's just a lot of organization, so maybe.
Yeah, we're right now. We're doing so many shows right now,
Yeah.
just like behind the curtain, that we really don't have much other time doing 4 radio hours and then 5, basically
Yeah.
hours for podcasts too. So
Again, not to beat a dead horse, but we edit and produce our own shit and then market our own shit. So like it's not
yeah,
Here's
just
what we
the
can do.
show.
Let's focus on the positive. I do a boat race with myself every night with a bottle of wine. I can live stream that if you want. And Will and Mark, I'm sure, have similar personal boat races they do. We'll figure it out. We'll get to it.
Somewhat, yeah.
We can do it. We will
figure out some type of drinking. Also, something I thought about that we didn't. Ooh, good time to bring this back up. We need to next time get the Hive in on the chug bets for UFCs, because that's something that we've done. That's something that we've done as a group of friends for a long time, and it's just a very fun thing. So if you don't live in the same cities as your friends do, when you get a little bit older, it happens to a lot of people. And now that you have Zoom and you can send video messages on text, well, what you do is you bet each round of a UFC card for who's going to chug if who loses, and then you have to send the video of you chugging. So we did that last UFC. Maybe that's the way we can kind of.
We do fighters, not rounds. We don't black out.
The wives hate
not rounds. Right,
sorry. Fights. Who's going to win the fight? And then you pick a person, and then you lose your chugs. Also, the point about Dr. Lickety is important to note. He was a little drunk, but he still brought the insults. That guy is a world-class insulter. So Big Ounce is probably lucky he was a little bit intoxicated. You don't want to be on the ass end of a beatdown by Dr. Lickety's.
Yeah, he'll get those insults flying. All right, one last voicemail, fellas, from Cole in Philly.
What's up, fellas? It's Cole from Philly calling in again. First time in a little while. So I just bought a car a couple weeks ago for my return to work, and I was driving back from the office, and of course fucking Money for Nothing came on, and my first thought was, oh shit, Hard Factor. It got me thinking a little bit, because first of all, that's a dope-ass song to have your intro to, but what are some of y'all favorite songs to drive to? Top 3, top 5, give me a whole playlist, whatever you want. Favorite songs to drive to. Later, boys. Have a great day.
Oh, yeah. Congrats on the new car, Cole. That's awesome.
Yes.
That's awesome. What do you guys like for your favorite driving songs, favorite road tripping songs?
I'm a Wu-Tang Clan guy when I like to get in the car. I like to put 36 Chambers on. It's a perfect album. Run through that real hard. I also like some electro dance pop.
Me too.
I put on that Sirius XM Pulse channel. And
I like
BPM.
House. Yeah, me too. I
just get into it.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
What else, Mark, besides that? Or you going with that same lineup?
That I'm surprised he went with that electro pop, like housey type thing. Cause I do that too. I didn't know that about Pat, actually. But it depends on the mood. Beach is different, right? If you're going to the beach, but on the road, I like to, with a lot of highways in Austin, I like to listen to stuff extremely loud. I went through a phase of The Weeknd over the summer, like a couple months ago when The Weeknd's album came out. And then now it's just like, like Money for Nothing type stuff. I'm back on like the 80s type rock, and it's got to be really loud. I like stuff with a build, and then I drive, fast. Like as
Mark loves a crescendo. He's huge into that.
Huge into crescendoing. Yeah,
nice crescendos. I'm going a different route. I was thinking Cruising by D'Angelo. Honestly, if you're driving with a lady, anything by D'Angelo.
No kidding.
Just go put that on, especially Cruising. Also, Steve Miller Band, Bob Seger, classic rock. For the highway, just gonna never disappoint pretty much no matter what you go with.
Trucker music, that's Will's favorite genre.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't classify D'Angelo as trucker music.
No, but Seeger kicks ass.
All
right.
No, D'Angelo's fucker music.
That's right. Trucker and fucker, that's what I do. All right, let's go to 5-star reviews.
First at trucker.
First one is from Joe. Shit, man, I have bad eyes. I'm getting old. All right, first one is from Joe Cantor. He says, 3 guys, 5 cats, and the beeve. He says, the hardest working guys at Barstool, makes the news bearable, funny, and entertaining. Pool boy Pat Cassidy has the funniest quips and the sickest flow, and despite being the furthest left of the group, still isn't as soft as Mark. Ooh. Will has the strongest voice. Oh, thank you. And Wes was probably eaten by Mark's cats. Love the show, boys. Happy to rate 5 stars, but can we get some better merch in the shop for listeners to better support and grow the show and try to help the boys get that full-time contract? Also love the YouTube content. Keep it coming. Can't believe the vids only get like 7 likes apiece. I like every single one. He's one of 7. Barstool feud debates. Keep them coming. You are the best. Thank you, Joe Cantor. But Mark, you got some smoke to deal with on that one.
Oh no, I mean I can take it just like Mumford's wife or mom. I'm sorry, I can take it.
You think this is Mumford back for more?
I hear some whimpering sometimes from Mumford, and he's got friends consoling him. So maybe it's one of his buddies. I don't know. It's tough.
I don't know. But yeah, thank you, Joe, for watching the YouTube. And I agree. I do have such a strong voice. I really thank you for that. You guys agree too, right? You know?
Yeah, I love your voice, bro. I love it when you're yelling at me. I love it always.
Yeah. I mean, you do the intro.
Yeah. Well, thanks, fellas. Thanks, Joe. All right.
A lot of people don't know this about Will, but Will was the lead singer of a band that we were all involved in high school.
That's true.
He can
That's
sing.
Right. True.
Yeah.
He can belt it out.
That's right. We got to sing a little bit later. Watch out. Next one is 5 stars from McGee66. He says, "Bye Dodge." And then the review says, "Bye Dodge. Love the show." I bet I know what that guy's Twitter handle is.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5 stars. Not Bubba. Definitely not Bubba is the name of the guy. And he says, "Please sing accordingly." And then you guys just want to try to sing it. Pat, you see this?
I don't see it. Where, did you put it on the screen?
So this is like the...
Should we save it? Should we save it for the 500th episode?
Yeah, right now we're at episode 486.
486. This is episode 486. So
Let's
we can
save
save this. We
Let's
can
save
save this. But it is the singing request, by the way, everybody. So
we'll work on it even.
Yeah, we can work on it.
I want to make sure our harmonies are tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there is one at the end. We do have to harmonize. All right, and then last 5-star review from Jim Buddha. Nice name. He says, "Is Will the only one with solid internet connection?" And then he says, "Amazing show. Finally, an unbiased view. The beeve is amazing. Must keep the beeve." But the internet connection, I think, Jim, what's happening there is that you've seen several different internet connections. Yeah, Yandex for Pat's house, for sure. And then you've seen several different internet connections. The guys in Austin all live in the same general area, but like not the same exact neighborhood. So they have like slightly different internet speeds. Whereas Reno has been just pretty much solid the whole time, ever from the start.
Well, it's all old people that don't know how to use computers there, Will. So you're really...
I get to soak
you're
up
the
all
only
the
car
bandwidth.
on the highway.
Yeah. That's a good point.
You're the only car on the highway. Hey, the bee's not going
Someone
anywhere.
in Pat's neighborhood's like mining for Bitcoin.
Dude, something is... Okay,
Yeah, it's the Yandex hacker that's in his computer.
I got into this in Twitter last night a little bit.
Yandex.
I'm really sorry because look, here's the deal. The videos come out at 12:30 at night. We haven't talked about this, but at 12:30 at night you can watch the YouTube video for that day's show. You know,
Generally,
right.
until this week.
This is what's supposed to be
Until
happening.
you fucking went on Yandex for the first time.
Right, okay. But Spectrum has literally been fucking throttling me at 0.33 megabytes per second upload. It's fucking embarrassing. And they admitted last night it's them, and they sent a technician over and they replaced the modem, and it's the same fucking bullshit. And
We can't figure out what's happening. Did you go on Yandex.com?
Yeah, but Pat, your speeds are they're not great, but they're much, much, much better throughout the day. It's like late at night through early morning, your speeds are throttled for some reason. Something's going on in your neighborhood or with your bugs in your computer or something like that. Like you don't have 0.33.
I blame Yandex
during the day.
I'm going to take my router apart tonight.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see.
Strip it apart piece by piece.
I'm going to Yandex it first, how to do it. First, I'm going to Yandex it.
That's going to do it for Hard Factor this week. Seriously, doing this job and reading the news for you guys is the best job I think any of us have ever had for these 486 shows and counting. Thank you for making it a possibility by sticking with us, sharing our content with your family and friends. Please keep it up as we push through 2020 together. We love you all and appreciate every single member of the Hardo Hive for tuning in every day. Don't forget to follow at Hard Factor News, at Barstool News Network, at Hard Factor Pat, at Hard Factor Mark, at Hard Factor Will on Twitter and Instagram. But most importantly, go have yourself a great fucking weekend.